Hey guys, and welcome back to another review. Today we're going to be looking at the GameSir X5S wireless controller, and this was sent to me as a sample by GameSir for this video. They've also sent me a sample of their FX5 thermoelectric cooler, which I'm going to go through in just a bit. But let's take a look at what you get in the box. So this is the actual box that it comes in. You know, it's pretty basic. It does have some of the features and stuff outlined there on the side, but you can go to the website to read those. And you've got the controller here, extendable. Okay, this is a case that you also get. It's a hard case and yeah, made of plastic. And I like how it doesn't take up much room. It just sort of surrounds the controller itself. And in the case there is this little tool, and it took me a little while to figure out what this was, but basically it's to swap out the buttons. So you can just pull out, like, say that button there and swap it with the X if you're used to a different configuration. So basically the case is pretty easy to use. Just pop the controller in like that, snap it on. There are a couple of little clips there at the bottom, and you can also charge the controller while it's in the case, which is good. You also get this USB-C charging cable included, and the controller connects wirelessly to your phone, but you can also get a separate USB-C to C cable to connect the controller directly to your phone. There are also a few of these little adapters, and basically I've just used the stock ones there. So yeah, if you might have like a smaller phone or something like that, these might be useful for you. They just snap on, and yeah, pull those ones off and snap these on essentially, and you get an instruction manual, which is pretty simple. It's just like one page essentially. In terms of the thermoelectric cooler module, this is the box that it comes in. It's designed specifically for this controller, and how it works is that you basically just clip it on to the back like that. You can sort of move it up and down. So this is the FX5 thermoelectric cooler unit, and you can see here this is basically designed specifically for the X5S controller, and this thing pulls heat away from your phone during extended gaming. So yeah, basically helps with thermal throttling, especially when you're playing some demanding games. I don't really have that issue on my phone, maybe because I'm just not playing, you know, really demanding sort of games, but it might be useful for some people out there. And yeah, basically you can see here there are these three pins, these three gold pins, and they connect here. These are for magnets, and just slide it on like that, and it switches on. And so this pad here gets really cold. In fact, it gets cold enough for you to actually put water on it, and it forms ice. And there are a few different like settings. So it turns blue, so it's like a medium setting, and then like a overclock kind of setting, which gets really cold. And yeah, you can of course just turn it on and off using that switch there at the back. Another thing you can do is just power the cooler without the battery. So if you plug that in, it turns on like that, and then again you can just press the button on the side to alternate the level of cooling. The fan just gets louder as you increase the level of cooling. And on the back of the device, you can see there's like a fan here. So this uses a Peltier cooling module in here. So basically one side of this piece of metal gets cold and the other side gets hot. So that fan needs to be there in order to basically extract heat from the other side. 3000 milliamp hour battery. GameSir also include this USB-C charging cable with the cooler. All right, here's a little side-by-side with my Backbone Pro next to the GameSir X5S. And weight-wise, they're pretty similar. I think the GameSir is actually a little bit lighter. And the difference here with the Backbone is that you've got this USB-C pass-through area there. You don't have that on the GameSir. And that's kind of like a funny situation, because actually I use a pretty large case on my phone. So I'm not able to actually use the Backbone controller with this larger case, but I can quite easily fit in with my other X5S. The joysticks on the Backbone Pro are a little bit larger than on the GameSir. Other than that, you've got a couple of triggers there, 2 smaller buttons, and Backbone also has 2 customizable buttons here on the bottom, whereas you don't have those with the GameSir. But yeah, both extend out a fair bit, but you do get a little bit more travel with the GameSir, and it does feel more sturdy somehow. I think just because there's maybe a bit more reinforcement, thicker piece of metal in there compared to the Backbone. So some unique things I really liked about the X5S, and I already mentioned this before, but just this extendable function here and the fact that I can fit in like a larger phone like this in a case. So I've actually been removing the case and fitting it in on my Backbone Pro, but if you've got a smaller case or a thinner case, that's no issue. But yeah, basically really like that you can fit in multiple devices in it quite easily, feels very sturdy. And the second thing as well is these Hall effect joysticks and analog triggers. So yeah, basically these use magnetic Hall sensors instead of traditional potentiometers. So it means that there's no physical contact between the parts and drift. Another thing I really like about the X5S is that it uses Hall effect joysticks and Hall effect analog triggers. So there's no physical contact between parts. So it's virtually drift proof over time, and it provides sort of smoother, more accurate control. Same with these Hall effect analog triggers, so you're going to get longer lifespan compared to mechanical trigger designs. And also important to mention is that there's a hairline trigger mode as well that you can activate by pressing this little M button here with the trigger at the back. Another thing I like about the X5S is that it has HD rumble. It's got a couple of rumble packs in there, as well as motion control. So there's actually a 6-axis gyroscope on there, and that's compatible with Switch and also mobile titles. I think some people out there will also like this button flexibility, like I was demonstrating before, so you can physically swap these buttons around. So if you're used to like an Xbox or Switch layouts, it's quite easy to just sort of switch those buttons around. And there is also a built-in turbo mode, so that will work for all of these buttons. And on the back as well, do like that there's a bit of extra grip there, and you know, comparing it to my Backbone Pro, it really feels a lot grippier, a bit more sturdier in the hand. So in terms of connectivity and versatility, there's a few ways you can connect this controller to your device. So you can use Bluetooth for quick pairing, that's what I use, and there's also a USB-C wired connection, but like I said before, you're going to have to find your own USB-C to C connector, but that's, yeah, if you want zero latency. For me, it's not a huge issue. I'm not a competitive gamer. And the third way is that you can connect it through 2.4 gigahertz wireless. Now, you don't get the dongle included, but again, that's for low latency PC play. And yeah, I really like that it's compatible across different platforms. So you basically just have one controller that you can use for Switch, mobile, and PC gaming. All right, some considerations if you're thinking of getting the GameSir X5S. And the first one is that there's no pass-through charging port. It would have been nice if there was something there just so that I could use my phone in there without sort of worrying that it's going to run out of charge. But again, you can use this wirelessly and have your phone on a stand or something like that. That's not a huge issue. The second consideration is I'm just not sure how effective this thermoelectric cooler is. You know, you've got this little contact pad here on the back. When you slot it on, you know, you've got your phone obviously sitting in there, and I would have to take off my case obviously, but you know, depending on which part of your phone is getting hot, you know, the CPU might be here or here or here. You can only sort of alter the placement of it up and down this way. And if you flip the device upside down like that, it's not going to make contact with your phone at all. It might have been better if GameSir paired this thermoelectric cooler with a small fan just to blow some cool air onto your phone, onto the back of your phone instead for, yeah, some more active cooling, I suppose. But yeah, if you're using it like this, you're going to really have to make sure the phone is right up and placed against this cooling pad. Overall, the GameSir X5S is one of the best value mobile controllers out there, and it's built for durability with these drift-proof Hall sticks, precise Hall triggers, and I really like how it's compatible with different gaming platforms. You don't have to have separate controllers, and yeah, it is priced pretty aggressively, making it one of the best bang for buck controllers out there right now. So yeah, of course you've got those rumble packs, vibration packs there in the back as well, and if you want to take it even further, you can pair it with the FX5 thermoelectric cooler to reduce throttling. So whether you're a casual gamer like myself, or if you're serious about mobile or hybrid gaming, the X5S is definitely worth a look. If you're interested in getting one, I'll leave a link down in the description below with a discount voucher. If you have any questions, just leave them below in the comments. I'll get back to you. If you found this video helpful, do me a big favor, click the like button and share it with a friend. It helps me to get this video out to more people. And if you want to see more tech reviews, make sure you subscribe.